Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Come Well to another doorway, another episode entitled "Am I as I am as you are?" Before I go into today's topic, I'm just going to give another light out to family at Flash Custom Transfers. Just want to let you guys, customers, know that I'll be printing up some more shirts again um this weekend actually. So the sales are the shirts are for sale, 19.99, and the book as well, the physical copy of the book. Uh, I will be receiving physical copies of the book um this week. They will also be for sale as well, 19.99. But together with the shirt and the book, I'm throwing both for 30. So that's 29.99 for the book that I'm getting from Amazon. The book printouts that I'm getting from Amazon this week on the 28th. Uh, those are 19.99. The shirt is 19.99, but together you can get both for 29.99, which is a $10 discount. Like I said once again, why get the "Am I as I am" without getting the "As You Are"? The book is entitled "As You Are." It's entitled "As You Are: The Art of Mastering Principle Within Personal Intimate Relationships." As You Are. The subtitle underneath it is "The Art of Mastering Principle Within Personal Intimate Relationships." Once again, these are what my videos are based on. This is what my calling is. This is what the path is about right now. This is what I am. This is what I'm vibrating as. At the moment, this is my frequency. This is my satellite. These are my antennas touching upon this energy for some unknown reason, known and beknownst to me. Once again, like I told you, the shirts will be printed up again. Um, I got the DTF transfers right here. Once again, from the people, the family at Flash Custom Transfers. Um, get in touch with them for your DTF transfers. They have the best in town, the best in business. Um, these are amazing. They don't want to show off nothing. It's official quality. I don't know y'all secret, but keep doing it. Um, so today's topic is. Oh, before I go into the topic one more time, I'm gonna have extra large shirts, medium shirts, and 3X as well. For the shirts, white tees, black, whatever color you want, whatever size you need. Get in touch and just reach out, and I'll reach in and make it happen. Okay. Also, one more thing to inform you guys of is as of November 15th, my book, will be on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and a variety of different bookstores online. Um, Physical copies in the bookstores. Um, November 15th, 2022, and it's going to be up for ebook as well as audio, etc., etc. So, Spirit is making things happen, and I also have other few different streams I'm gonna keep you guys in touch with. Um, yeah. So let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is entitled "Something to Ask Yourself." Let me just say it first. Are you in a relationship, or are you in a worship? So one may ask themselves, damn, am I in a relationship, or am I in a worship with your mate? Um, yes, that's today's topic. Are you in a relationship, or are you in a worship? You know, meaning are you in a genuine relationship with someone, or are you worshiping something or someone? Um, the reason I came to this was because, well, a lot of points touch upon where I'm going with this, but it's mostly kind of zoomed in on people playing the blame game. You made me mad, or you're pissing me off, or it's because of you I feel this way. Or it's because of you I'm thinking like this. Or it's because of you I'm living like this. You have these people that point and 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 blame um, other people for their own crap that they accumulated within them. And it became a kind of unconscious self defense mechanism. So whatever someone feels uh, within them because of someone else, then that is a form of worship. You saying, well, Blue, what you mean by that? How am I? Well, I'm saying she did make me mad, or she may be saying, yeah, well, he did piss me off because of, you know, he did this and he knows I don't like when he does that, or she knows I don't be feeling that shit, and she did that anyway, and she knows how that gets me, and you become an easy trigger, and you don't necessarily. We can put it in a certain way of understanding that you now worship the person because, and you say, what do you mean by worship? Meaning that they can trigger and control you like a remote control. They can control you. They can control your happiness. They can control your anger. They can control your madness, so on and so on and so forth. So in a way, I say, if you thought you was in a relationship and now you find out that you're in a worship or you're worshiping something and someone. Oh, she got you mad? Yeah, she got me mad. Okay, well, bow down now. He's like, what do you mean bow down now? I'm not bowing down now. Yeah, you should. But why should I? Because you worship her. She controls your energy. She controls your mood. She controls your mind. She controls your feelings. She controls your emotions. She controls how you think, what you do, how you act. That's a form of worship, and that means that she have become, or she has became your God and your master, or he has became your God and your master, because he can control you like remote control, or like a puppet. And these are certain kind of states that isn't really uh, in alignment with this path and this understanding and this calling. Um, so if it's not in alignment with this kind of path and this calling and these videos and this principle or these principles, then you're not going to pretty much be in sync with yourself as well as with the other person or with the appearing person that you think is in front of you and around you. You think it's someone outside of you. So, um, that's really basically what it means at a very simple point. Worshipping or in a relationship. Are you in a relationship or are you in a worship? You have to determine this. A relationship is something different than a worship. If you're here to worship, then, be religious if that's what works for you, because that's a form of worship. Worship a God outside of you. But if you are this God phenomenon, this thing, then nothing outside of you should be able to control you or manipulate you or steer and navigate and guide your feelings and your mind in different directions of itself, in conflict with itself, in friction with itself, leaving you static within yourself, leaving you this chaos thing, this sting and chaos of itself. Okay? It's not too many points today. I'm gonna go into it simple. But I guess we could take it from here. Uh, if you are familiar with this channel, we go, what I say, line for line or doorway after doorway, and together we both walk down this hallway. Okay? So let's go to the first line. The first line is, from a primary point of view, are you more focused on the qualities of that individual, which are the principles, or the personality of that individual, which is the person or the personal? The personality of an individual is always the potential friction and conflict of an experience. The principles and qualities of an individual is the quiet, silent, centered, and balanced aspect and potential of an experience. Reason why I said the personality is because it can always be friction and conflict, because personality is a illusional thing. It's just something that was created or accumulated throughout a person's lifetime. Mother said this was bad, and she said that was good. Your father said this was bad, and he said that was good. Your family has an influence on you, and so on and so on. You become this accumulated ball of an experience, and that takes on a certain kind or matures into a certain kind of behavior and personality. And then you have a certain kind of character to yourself. So we know that the personality is not an eternal thing. It's not an the realest aspect of self. It's a put on. It's a mask and costume. So that's why I said, are you more focused on the qualities of an individual or the personality of that individual? Because the quality is the principle or the principles of what that person or personality uh, contains in that embodiment. Are you more focused on the principles, the qualities that he or she possesses, or are you more focused on them, he and she, and the person, and the personal things and their personalities? Because if you are, then that's going to cause conflict and friction. It's inevitable. It's going to happen because there's always disagreements, and there's nothing wrong or right to it. But it's what do you choose to use as your spark of enlightenment? Um, And I said the principles and qualities of an individual is the quiet, silent, centered, and balanced aspect and potential of an experience, because it keeps you quiet, silent, centered, and balanced within yourself. Just interacting with the personality, but being more of a higher percentage in interaction with the principles that they are, rather than the personality that they seem and appear to be in front of you. Okay, so we know that personality is fake. It's not real. Principles is real because, like you say, a mother, oh, I love the mother because the mother has, I love her for who she is. She takes care of me. She nurtures me, this and that and this. But if she transitions and leaves her body, there's also a mother bear that's left here, a mother deer, a mother ant. You have a mother bird. So we know that mother or mothering or motherhood is a principle which will keep going on after the body has left. So this is why I'm so into principle, or why principle is so into me, or why it has me on this path, and why I answer this calling, and why I deliver this light to you. Okay. I just want to make that kind of clear. So the qualities and principles, the principles is something that can keep you quiet, silent, centered, and balanced within yourself, within experience, rather than the personality, which may cause conflict and friction and may throw you off your path if you don't have enough control and discipline within yourself to interact on that stage, interact on that level, interact on that plateau of the experience. Okay? It's an if. Yes, there can be a mix of both interactions, personality and principality, within one experience. But the question is, which one are you solely focused on in the experience? According to this path and this calling, it is wise to be focused more on the principle that one, or the principle or principles that one possesses, rather than their personality. Be focused on the eternal rather than the external. Okay? Um, but the question is, which one are you solely focused on within the experience? because that alone determines the level of your sanity and overall degree of your physiological health. This is why it's relevant to understand this point, dealing with this principle according to this path. Remember, like I told you before, these videos, these principles I touched upon is based on the phenomenon, reality, and truth of becoming invisible, intangible, translucent, and transparent. Because you're already the opposite. You're already visible, physical, seen. So I'm saying redirect your focus and point of attention away from what's obvious to that which is subtle. Away from the obvious to that which is subliminal. This is what this path is about. This is what these videos are about. It's about principle based on the topic and understanding of relationship. This is why the book title, As You Are, and the subtitle underneath it, The Art of Mastering Principle Within Personal Intimate Relationships. Master the principle within the personal. Exercise the principle within the body of the personal. Exercise principle within the body of the person. You, the embodied one. The embodiment of one. The embodiment of you. Embodying the self within. Okay? It's all about getting to that core, getting to that center, getting to that coil, spiritual coil. So, like I said, the question is, which one are you solely focused on within your own experience, with your mate, with your woman, with your man, with your husband, with your wife, with your companion, with your significant other? What are you more focused on? The principles that they possess and interacting with that, or the person and personality? Because person and personality is there for interaction, is there for a meeting, a joining. When that joining hits, then you have the principle of infusion, which is one of the other videos I touched upon, the infusion of mates. So when the infusion happens according to the personality, oh, I like his traits, or I like how he talks, or I like how she, I like where her mind is at, or I like where his energy is at. When that meeting is bond, what is the meaning of the meeting? The meeting transforms into the meaning of infusion, which means the essence, the presence of you and her, or the presence of you and him, now when it's met, it becomes an essence because it infuses. If you touch his hand, he touches your hand, it's not going nowhere. The hand is not going into the other hand, but energy is being transferred from palm to palm, which is why I said when you guys hold hands for a long period of time, whether it's walking down the street or sitting at home on the couch late night watching a movie, or you're holding her in bed watching a movie, or holding her outside, or she's sitting on your lap, or you're grabbing her, whatever it may be, or you're holding him and embracing him. After a while, you don't feel each other. And this is the whole point I was talking about. You become an essence. So presence turns into essence. So when that presence turns into essence, what are you now focused on? The personality and the person and the personal shit that you take going on within that interaction experience? Or are you solely more focused on the principles, which are and always will be? That's why I said, learn to redirect your attention and focus on the eternal rather than the external. Okay? But in order to get to the eternal from the external, you have to get internal. So you have external, internal, and eternal. But you have to go through these stages. You have to go through these levels of mind. Okay? That's why I say, because that alone determines your sanity, overall degree of your physiological health. This has an effect on your mind and your body, on your mentality and your physicality. physiology. My advice is if you choose to focus on the act of worship, if you want to worship, then worship only the principles that he or she possesses, not the person or personality which possesses those principles. Because if you choose to focus on, zoom in on, and or worship their personality, then chances are you may become possessed by the energy signatures of your lower nature. What energy signatures? Energy signatures like anger, frustration, resentment, confusion, bewilderment, hatred, blame, etc. And if you become subject to these lower natures, then guess what? You are worshiping the person and their personality and your own person and personality. And now that person and personality becomes the God and master that you worship. Why? Well, because you say that they got you mad or they got you angry. It is because of them you feel like this now. It's because of them you think like that now. It's because of them you living like this now. There is, let me stay on point. Well, because you say that they get you mad. Simple. That's it. You play the blame game. And as long as your focus remains pointed outward, they, them, you never get pointed inward. Understand what I just said? And as long as your focus remains pointed outward, you never get pointed inward. You never reverse the focus back on self. If they can trigger you and throw you off in any way, then they got you. But the fun fact is, here's the fun fact. The fun fact is really that they are not really there. This is the fun fact. If they can trigger you and throw you off in a major way, then they got you. But the fun fact is that they are not really there and never was there to begin with. So, as a result of you creating and conducting a feeling inside yourself based on an illusion, then you yourself become victim to the illusion, thus becoming delusional. So, you becoming subject to the illusion, you soon will become delusional. Illusional, delusional. See, these are states of maturity or maturing, states of progression, which is actually a degression. It's a progressing degression. You're moving further and further away from the core or the center of self. See? So when I said they are not really there, I touched upon this plenty of times in plenty of different videos. If you're new to this channel or new to this video, or new to this, then I'll explain what I was talking about before is that everybody and everything that you come amongst with and surround yourself with is a creation of your internal needs, wants, and desires, fantasy, etc. He is a creation of you, she is a creation of you. You both created each other, which is why I'm always focused in the middle, which is principle, which is the infusing aspect and what you get from that infusion. You created her and you created him, which is why you found an attraction to him, which is why you found an attraction to her. There is no such thing as attraction. Everything is correspondence. And once again, like I said, you have an energy, need, want, feeling, a desire, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. These things are energies. And this energy transforms into an entity, the person in front of you, which is why, once again, like I said, every thought seeks to become an action. Every idea seeks to become an invention. Something is trying to cross over from something which doesn't have a body to that which does have a body. So understand that your mate is a creation of you. You created him, and you created him. Take wise responsibility. Okay. The next line and or doorway is: are you in the experience to learn, or are you in the experience to burn? Are you in the experience that you're having to learn from the experience, or are you in the experience that you're having to burn from the experience, or to digress? The whole point of this path is to recede whenever possible. Anytime and every time the opportunity arises. Burning is also related to worshiping. You're burning up, you're getting hot, you're getting mad. They control your anger. So bow down to them. Worship them because they are your God. They are your master. And if you say, I ain't got no, she's not my God, or he's not my God, she's not my master, he's not my master, then you have to stop letting them control your emotions, because they actually don't control your emotions at all. There's something inside of you which you projected and you created to have an interaction for an internal activation, for a spark of enlightenment. But the spark of enlightenment cannot anchor itself and drown itself in the mind and feeling. And you get stuck in this physical embodiment, because that is not wise according to the understanding of this path. It's okay to have disagreements and, little feuds here and there. And that's going to happen. That's conflict and that's friction. That's personality. That's personality to personality battle, brain to brain battle, ego to ego battle. That's carnal nature. That's animalistic. It's going to happen. But I'm saying, according to this path and this understanding, you do not let that pull you down and anchor you and drown you in this physical body. You feel it, get something from it, receive something from it, and spark yourself with it. So you feel you about to get mad, and just chill, just relax and say, okay, I'm just feeling what madness is. I'm not mad. Madness is amongst me. See, learn to play with your language, because your language fixes your perception when you start to speak things. That's why I say, watch what you are speaking because your ears are listening. Watch what your mouth is saying because your ears are listening. So you don't have to say, damn, she got me mad. Fuck, I'm angry now because of him. No. Say, the presence of anger is amongst me. Because when you say I'm mad, then you're actually claiming ownership of madness, and you're saying that mad is inside of you. But when you say madness is amongst me, it's something that's not really inside of you. Just speaking in these words, it's not inside you, it's just amongst you. Anger is amongst me, madness is amongst me, confusion is amongst me. But it's not within me. It's just amongst me. It's a passing by. And it wants you to give it attention, because your feeling that you feel and activate biologically and physically from that activation keeps it relevant, keeps it live within you. And that shows you that it's dead, because why is it looking for life from you? If it's truly life and alive, then why would it seek the life within you? It's a dead thing. It's a passing by. But will you let it pass by, or will you grab it, hug it, embrace it, infuse it, and make it a part of you? And that's why I said, then that means that you're illusional, and you will soon become delusional. This is just how this progress, this is just how progress is here, which is actually a degressive trait, a degressive quality according to this path and this understanding. Okay? There's nothing wrong with feeling these feelings and having these thoughts, but you don't let them govern you totally. And you don't focus on them solely. You just know that they're there because the body wants to feel it, but are you the body? That's why like I said before, I asked somebody, what you wearing? Well, I'm wearing this. I'm wearing a shirt and some blue jeans. And I said, well, ask me what I'm wearing. Like, what you wearing? I said, I'm wearing the body. The body's wearing what it wants to wear. I'm not wearing anything, just the body. Your language determines where you're at in perception. It determines your truth, which stands on the grounds of this reality. Okay. Um. So I said the whole point of this path is to recede whenever possible. Recede is to recede whenever possible, anytime and every time the opportunity arises. Recede means to unravel and unlayer. For the return and restoration, to return and restore, to reinstate. So, like I said, always coming back to the core, always coming back to the core and core you of the self. For the return and restore, to reinstate, which is to not become an impulsive or compulsive reactionary subject to random triggering influence. To remain centered, balanced, silent, still, untouchable, intangible, unimaginable to the modern mind and modern behavior of socially media influenced individuals. According to this path, you're supposed to be in this manner. So that's the whole point. You're worshiping how compulsive and impulsive you are determines the volume of your worship. If you're not compulsive and impulsive, then you don't worship nothing. You don't worship the person. You don't worship the personality. You can worship the principle of your woman, which is femininity. You can worship the principles of your man, which is masculinity, or fatherhood, or motherhood. These things which supersede beyond the body or the physical experience. You see, so that's what that means. The next line and or doorway is, the point of this path is to eliminate your worshiping of gods or masters every moment, every day. How many gods and masters are you worshiping and bowing down to every moment and every day of your life? Whatever you worship and bow down to should be worshiping and bowing down to you. They should be serving you, not the other way around. Learn to possess them when needed and not get possessed by them. Please keep in mind and heart, Kima, K-I-M-A-H, which is in the book, that you are a creator that creates godlike creations around itself and its orbit and its cipher, as a reflection of the godlike creations we create within us. In other words, that which was created within eventually surrounds us without. Like I said, the point of this path is to eliminate your worshiping of gods, eliminate your worshiping of masters, or eliminate your worshiping of gods and or masters. Every moment, every day. And you have to keep in mind of how many gods and masters that you worship every day, meaning what controls you in feeling, what navigates you or redirects you in feeling. It can be anything. It can be people, your favorite chocolate, your favorite sweets, favorite drinks, something that kind of plays with your decision making. It plays with your choice, making choices. These are things that, like what they say, become a habit or become an obsession. You got drugs, you got different kind of things, liquor, you have whatever it may be, alcohol, things that you are under high influence of, that it affects your decision making and choice making. Like, I'm not gonna smoke today, and then you smoke today. So it has some kind of authority over your willpower and your choice making and your decision making. These are things that rule you. These are things that is your ruler. These are things that you worship. These are things that are your gods. These are things that are your masters. So the whole point of this path is to eliminate uh, worshiping these gods and masters every moment of every day of your life. Because eliminating them brings you back to self and the realization that you are this God phenomenon or this God phenomenon. And things don't control you. You now have full control and discipline of self. You now have full control of self and discipline with self, as self. Okay, so you basically reclaim your control and discipline again once you stop worshiping. And once I say sometimes you can worship without knowing, you can get angry, you can get pissed off, you can get furious, you can get mad. They don't make you mad. You have just gone mad. It's a difference. She didn't make you mad. You went mad. He didn't make you mad. You went mad. Now you're madness. And if something happened inside of you, how did he or she do it? It's actually inside of you. Like she or he is actually inside of you. But the physical interaction is to activate something spiritual within you, not to activate something physical within you. Because everything has a polar opposite. Yin is yang is yin, up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. You can only go but so many lefts before you have to make a right and vice versa. You can only go up for so much before you have to go down. One polarity gives reference to the other. So physical interaction should cause a spiritual activation. And if physical interaction is causing a biological, physical effect, according to this path, that's not wise. Okay? Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right. Back to the scheduled program. The next line in Odowi is the fascination with what we know as love and death. Now, this is something I'm going to share with you that I've seen personally when I looked on social media, I looked on YouTube, different places. The main things that people are actually focused on that have the most view, like millions of views on these topics, and it's like three or four topics total that have the most views, or most people, most individuals are intrigued with, or fascinated about, or obsessed with. So let me go into this. The fascination with what we know as love and death, along with sex and spirituality, is very interesting. Both of these topics, love and death, or studies, both of these topics or studies possess the most views on YouTube and social media, period. But what came to me was they are not two different things. They are actually the same thing. To love is to die, and to die is to become a quality of love. Why are people so obsessed, infatuated, and intrigued with both love and death? Because they are invisible phenomenons. they are both invisible phenomenons. And I said, spirit, why you got me over here talking? Why you hit me with this kind of like, I'm talking about the topic of, are you in a relationship or worship? And this is where spirit brought me back full circle. It said, well, because both are two invisible phenomenons, and us as visible phenomenons, image to image, person to person, are intrigued with invisible phenomena. So, love and death, LOVE and death, are both two invisible phenomenons. LOVE is an invisible thing, it's an invisible phenomenon. What we call death, if you were to say, that's based on becoming invisible, an invisible phenomenon. And us as visible phenomenons naturally are intrigued with invisible phenomena. So I said, okay, Spirit, where you bringing me? What's the point of this light I'm receiving? Which is why the very focus of this present point I'm making proves the relevance of the embracing and understanding of principle. Which is why I touch upon this principle throughout all my videos. So, because earlier today, Spirit had me on this little mission of looking at different videos on YouTube and other social media platforms, and I'm saying, God damn, it's like millions of views. I said, well, what is the most talked about thing? What is the most touched upon thing that people from all walks, or geographical areas, or belief systems, or different concepts of mind, different experiences, different languages, different cultures, different traditions. What is the most things that people are like really, want to know or want to study or, are so attentive to? And it was actually love and death, along with sex and spirituality. So you have love, death, sex, spirituality. Love, death, sex, spirituality. And if you think about it, besides sex, love, death, and spirituality, these are invisible phenomenons. So we are infatuated and intrigued with invisible phenomena. Invisible phenomena, once again, is principle. Interaction is invisible. Communication is an invisible thing. It's something which is in the middle that lets us be in the action that we are doing. You see? So it gives reference to us. And principles can also be known as spirit or spirituality. See, so my whole point, like I said once again, is to redirect your attention and focus into the invisible, the intangible, the translucent, transparent, the untouchable aspect of self. Okay? Okay. And once again, validates the point of the thing I touch upon in my videos, which is principle, the invisible, principle, the intangible, principle, the transparent, principle, the translucent, principle, the untouchable aspect. See? So that's why Spirit kind of navigated me to wanting to know which topics have the most views on internet, period. Period. Love and death is the top. Spirituality is rising, and then sex. So love, death, spirituality, and sex. Okay? If you don't believe me, don't believe me. Check it out for yourself, and you'll see. Do the research and study for yourself, and you'll come to the same. I'm pretty sure you'll come to the same conclusion. Pretty sure. Um, okay. The next line and or doorway. Well, just say that happened. Just to show the relevance of why I touch upon this thing so much and so often, and why this is my path and my calling. Okay. The next line and or doorway is what things control you in regards to your mind and your mood. Meaning, how many things affect and or disable your willingness to do and your decision making, which is what I just touched upon in a certain way, in a different way. How many things affect and or disable your willingness to do and your decision making? These things keep your energy in stagnation, in a pause and go and pause rhythm. Pause, go, pause rhythm. Keeps your energy in a stagnation, in a constant state of static and reoccurring cycles of schism or schismatic behavior. Like pressing down on the accelerator and the brake at the same time, or pressing the accelerator and then the brake, and then the accelerator and then the brake, and then the accelerator and then the brake, or pressing down on both at the same time. Sooner or later, this process or way about being or style of living creates a downfall effect within your growth and development, knowledge of self, and spiritual maturity, making it just that much more challenging to become the greatest magnitude of your full potential. A specific greatness which is in favor to your benefit. This is why I said once again, what controls you, what things control you. And you don't want anything to control you. Certain things are going to have an effect on you. Certain things may influence you. Certain things may assist in the potential to lose yourself mentally and to degress your health in certain ways. Certain things may assist. You have things that assist in certain things, may assist in, throwing you off of your focus and your attention, because with focus there is distraction. With chaos there is order. So you keep in mind of this polarital intelligence. Polarity is an intelligence. It is. And there's an intelligence in polarity. Okay. So you do these things while keeping in mind and heart, Kima, of this potential or this inevitable polar opposite. So what things control you in regards to your mind and your mood? Like I said, meaning how many things affect and or disable your willingness to do in your decision making. And what I said it can cause within you, biologically and mentally, psychologically. And this can either spark something within you to pierce through, to go further or deeper into the self, or it can just make you more and more surface, more and more external, more and more physical, more and more personal, more and more human. See, people say we're human beings. Okay, you can be a human being, but I'm a being human. And it's not just a play with fancy words trying to be cute with little statements that I'm making here and there, but it's what words are you choosing to use to define and describe your truth upon the reality that you currently exist in. Choose your words wisely, okay? Because it's within the words and the language which shifts your perception, creates your truth, and grounds you in reality. Don't let your feelings interrupt your healings. Sit with that for 1 second. You understand what I'm saying? Don't let your feelings, physical body, feel, physical, physical, feel, Don't let your feelings interrupt your healings. So don't let that which is physical interfere and distract you from that which is unphysical, which is the spiritual nature, which is principle. Certain things that control you, certain things that worship you, or certain things that you worship, and certain things that are a god over you, or a ruler over you, or a master to you. If you don't want no ruler, no god, no master upon you, then you have to stop letting things control you. Your anger or your feelings, your mind and your mood. Your mood and your mind. Your mind and your mood. Because the more you let things control your mind and your mood and your mood and your mind, the more you become anchored in this physical reality. The more you become physical once again. The more you become surface. The more you become external. The more you become human. The more you keep imbuing this. And you're not superseding beyond it and past it. To supersede doesn't mean to go further or forward. Supersede means to reseed, to unlayer and unravel this personality. Let go, unravel this behavior, unravel this character, unravel this personality, this personal aspect of yourself, this person that you think that you are, to get back to the principle of what you truly are, not who you are, because who you are doesn't exist and never have existed. What you are is the real deal. Okay? So don't let your feelings interrupt your healings. Feelings are of the body. The body is subject to gravity. So in other words, don't let the force of gravity distract you from the element of buoyancy or the element of flotation or anti-gravity or your spiritual nature, which is that is not permanently subject to the forces of gravity. Because once you become subject to the forces of gravity, every moment that passes from that point forward, you become closer and closer to your grave or your engraving within the soil. And you will meet your soul, which is the speeding, returning back to its soul, the spirit returning back to the source of soul. So, like I said, feelings of the body is subject to gravity. In other words, don't let the force of gravity distract you from the element of buoyancy, the element of floating or flotation or anti-gravity or your spiritual nature. Don't let gravity distract you from that. The body's going to go where it's supposed to go. What you are will recede and return and resort back to where it protruded from. But don't let this gravitational pull, this I'm so mad at him, I'm so mad at her. Stop worshiping them. Don't let this thing pull you. According to this calling and this path, it wouldn't be wise to do so. Okay? Because then you are worshiping him. You are worshiping her. Even though you think you're not, you are. You may not be doing it willingly or knowingly, but unbeknownst to you, you are doing it and you are being it. Just by simply giving them the permission to navigate your feelings and your mind in a certain direction, which is not of any benefit to you and which doesn't serve you, but has you serving it. Okay. The next line in Odoe is, what is a relationship? What is a relationship? It is a real relation or a real relating or a real relationship. A relationship is a real relationship, a real relation, a real relating, all governed within the principle of correspondence. You see, relating and relationship is nothing but being related. What do you relate? What do you guys relate with? How do you relate with him? How do you relate with her? What are the levels or grounds on which you two relate at or connect at. This is what a relationship is about. It's the shaping of the relation. What do you relate? Because whatever you relate, you are shaping something outside of you. You are crystallizing a reality around y'all. So, and all this is governed within the principle of correspondence, which means that you two even have the the ability to relate because of the principle of correspondence, which is actually something which is prior to it, which actually gives reference to relating or to being related or to relate. There would be no relating, relation, related, or attraction without the principle, the invisible stream of correspondence, which is a principle, which is a spiritual nature, something which is invisible. Okay, so um, a relationship is you guys finding where you relate at and where you are related on. Not biologically and genetically. We're not talking about that. We're talking about dealing with principle and quality. And that will determine the overall value of your relationship. See, you both are already related within the bounds, understanding, and principle of correspondence, along with spirit and genetic lineage. Along with that, this goes back deeper. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Related is also the word related, which means the fullness of the infuse isn't used up just yet. So related is relighted. You become relighted. You become enlightened again. You become sparked. You become the fuse, or you light the fuse with the spark of enlightenment. To become relighted when you find yourself related to someone, having a relationship within the bounds or the liaison or the liaisonic field of, or the liaisonic stream of correspondence, liaisonic principle of correspondence. Okay. According to this pattern understanding, you have to find out where you two relate or where you two are in sync or synchronized within the foundation of principle beyond the physical or visible boundaries you sense and experience within the sensual boundaries, which the physical and visible embodiment is governed within. See, goddamn, I don't know what the hell. Let me go back when I said that. You have to find out, according to this path and understanding, you have to find out where you two relate, where you two are in sync, and where you two are synchronized within the foundation of principle beyond the physical or visible boundaries you sense and experience within the sensual boundaries, which the physical and visible embodiment is governed within. So find out what realm you guys share metaphysically, spiritually, according to the understanding of principle. What realm are you guys encased within? What are you orbited within? See, that's the whole relating and relation, interaction, communication, infusion, cohesion, connectedness. This whole thing is based on what realm do we share together? What dimension do we exist? Do both of us exist as one thing? Which dimension? And this is why that meeting has to turn into that meaning of infusion. See, it's not about letting him get you pissed off or mad, throwing your feelings and moods and your mind and mood off, or letting her throw your mind and mood off. because you're just becoming more of the shell, and you're going to go through the hell. The more you become of the shell, the more you go through the hell. Therefore, you never heal because you're too busy trying to feel. I always had a thing with rhyme and rhythm as well. A lot of you guys don't notice, but I used to be as well a musical artist. And to let you know ahead of time, let me just quick split infomercial. I'm working on the album right now, and there's going to be either tracks for download or the whole album for download on the bottom of these videos. And pretty soon, the upcoming videos, in and out the studios at the moment, and there will be other avenues of the spiritual energy getting out in different forms of expression. Now back to our scheduled program. So yeah, this is the whole point. Okay. Next line and or doorway is anger or frustration or madness is just an energy. Energy is just an extreme. And an extreme or an extremity doesn't and can't discriminate when to progress or degress or when to stop or when to go or when to cease or when to continue itself. It's only a force and or direction towards its own construction or destruction or self-destruction or both simultaneously within divine law and divine purpose, known or unbeknownst to you, the possessor of it. So this is why when you get mad, angry, frustrated, and you're saying that he made me do it or she made me do it, when you're worshiping them and that's your God and that's your ruler, unbeknownst to you. And like I say, bow down to them. If she can make you mad, bow down to her. Worship her. If he can make you mad, bow down to him and worship him. I'm not doing that. Yeah, you better. You better do that. Why? Because you're worshiping them. They are your God. They're your ruler. They're your master. You said you didn't want a God, a ruler, or a master over you. But you're making them that over you every time you say that they made you mad, angry, and frustrated and confused, and you're losing your cool because of them, and you're living this way because of them. You're blaming, playing the blame game, playing the point game. You point outward. The more you point outward, the more it makes it more challenging to point back inward. Get them out of your view. They are not there. They never were there to begin with. You created them. They are just an entity, a reflected energy of a reflected entity of a projected energy within you. Needs, wants, desire, fantasy, these things. You projected that reflection. You created the projection, the energy projection of that reflection of an entity. They are within you, inside of you, which is why, like I said, they can have an influence on making you mad and angry, but it's not to fall deeper into those lower natures or that human realm or that human nature. It's not to fall deeper into it. It's to feel something. And once you feel that they can do something then inside of you, then you know that they are truly internally within you. And you're supposed to be the master of your own internal. If they're truly inside of you, then you master that situation. You master that communication. You make that situation neutral again by mastering communication. Master the dialogue in your mind or your mind. Neutralize your mood to keep a mutual conversation and a mutual interaction with them. This is occult wisdom. This is occult science, occult technology that I'm kicking to you. Okay? And like I said, anger, frustration, madness is just an energy. Energy is just an extreme. An extreme, it doesn't have a brain. An extreme or an extremity, which is energy, does not have a brain. It's just a forwarded thing. a forwarding force in a direction towards its own construction or destruction or self-destruction of itself, or both. And this all falls under the orbit of divine law and divine purpose, known or unbeknownst to the holder, which is the one who becomes possessed by these things. Anger, frustration, and madness is a potential possession. And a possession is just an energy, and an energy is just an extreme. But you, as the stopper, can stop it or cease it. But if you lose that, then you just become the energy in the extreme, which is why some people find, commit murders and all kind of shit amongst their wives or their husbands or their mates, because when they end up saying I'm sorry, or harming them or hitting them, verbally, physically abusing them, whatever it may be, and they end up saying I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me, what happened. Yeah, you were possessed. That's what happened. You were possessed. And then what they call, you come back to your senses, right? Or you come back to your senseis. You come back to your teacher, so your teaching or your mastery. But by then, consequences may be too late. Okay. So learn how to master these potential possessions, or how to be aware of these potential possessions in order to neutralize them as soon as they arrive or appear or come amongst you. Not inside you, but come amongst you. Okay. Yeah. Exercise it with awareness. Your possessions do not like your awareness. They don't like your knowledge of self because you cease them to exist. Okay? The exorcist to your possessions is awareness. Okay, next line in our doorway is, there's no such thing as a relationship or an experience according to the understanding of this path or calling. How so? There's no relationship without experience, and there's no experience without momentum, and there's no comprehension of momentum without the embracing and understanding of a moment. Because time doesn't exist. The action or animating of the moment itself determines the outcome and end result of your overall homeostasis or state of health, mentally, physically, physiologically, and emotionally. Now, the topic of this episode is, are you in a relationship or a worship? I tend to touch on topics and then I get deeper and deeper. I'll validate certain things within the topic, but then I'll get deeper and I will recede more to the core of me, and I will touch upon these topics which I held so high, and I'll just drop them and go deeper into a deeper understanding. And I'll hold these up high and I'll drop it and go deeper into a deeper understanding of what was dropped, which is what I held before it. So now I'm saying a relationship, and I'm saying now there is no relationship or an experience. But how so? In what way am I explaining this? Well, what do I mean by this? Because there's no relationship without experience, there's no experience without momentum, and there's no comprehension of momentum without the embracing and understanding of what a moment is. The reason why I'm saying this is because all you have is your moment. Going again in the understanding of what we know as worship and things of that nature, and possession. When you become possessed, it's a moment, a passing by once again. If you become possessed by this moment, then that becomes your momentum. Then that momentum is what progresses into the experience, and the experience is the validation and reference for what you call a coin as a relationship. So bringing it backwards, understand your moment and the value and quality and the relevance of the moment. You can never be out of the moment. You're always in the moment. So These things feed and feast on your moment. Anger feeds and feasts on your moment. Madness wants to feed and feast on your moment. Frustration and confusion, resentment, hatred, all these things need to gas you. They need to trick you. They need to fool you and say, hey, I'm real and you're not. Therefore, become me. Like, I'm mad. And then madness comes and says, hey, I'm real and you're not. Therefore, you have to become me. Oh, I'm mad. I'm angry. Frustration comes and says, hey, you're not real. I'm real. Therefore, you need to become me. And you say, I'm frustrated. And so on and so on. So you become gassed. You become tricked. You become fooled. Because you have no knowledge of self. Or you have least or little to no knowledge of self. And no control and discipline over these possessions when they have potential to possess you and you become possessed by them. Possess is also related to the word passes. I'm just getting this now. Possess and passes. It's the same damn word. One is with an O, other one's with an A. Possess passes. So let the possess pass. As the possess passes, you get to remain and sustain the moment that which you are in, how you want it to be within you. I'm going to soon have live interactions with individuals, live videos. I'm going to be touching upon these topics, but with people in interaction and conversation to give you guys more of a communication interaction of me in live or live on live stream, in a live stream. Like I said, because I'm not used to really talking to a damn, what you call this, damn camera lens, or what you want to call it, laptop camera. I'm not used to talking to a camera. I'm used to interacting with people and communicating to people and holding conversations based on these principles. But nevertheless, this is why I find myself talking to myself sometimes. I'm talking to you, but I feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes too, because it's like, so anyway, yeah. Know the quality and value that a moment possesses without becoming the possessed. As the possession passes, let the possession pass. Don't become possessed. Watch as it passes. Possess, passes, passes, possess. See? Don't let it possess you. Just watch as it passes. Become the witness to anger. Become the witness to madness. Become the witness to confusion. Become the witness to frustration. Become the witness to things triggering you. That's why I said learn to be in the experience and then learn to also witness the experience. And say, oh shit, okay, anger is amongst me. Madness is amongst me. Frustration is amongst me. Confusion is amongst me. But I'm just going to be witness to it. I'm not going to become it. Everything wants your moment because you are the only thing which is live. It is not live. It is a passing by. If you think about it, if it truly is live, why would it need you to house itself within? Why would it need you to house it within you? Because you are the true life force. You are the true live force. This is why everything needs to feed and feast off of you so that it leaves you void of yourself and then you fulfill its purpose. And then when you come back to awareness, maybe out the body or inside somewhere that doesn't serve you, your purpose. Okay? Only two more left. The next line in our doorway is To worship is to be a warship or a battleship, meaning you remain on a lookout, or lack out, a lookout or a lack out for who and or what is out to get you or target you or is against you. Meaning what? Meaning you become more and more distracted, more and more distant, and more further from the self which you truly and primarily are. Thus, meaning centeredness and balance of self becomes more and more dormant and foreign to the acknowledgement and awareness of one's present moment, leaving one becoming more sick or psyched and psychological within their vehicle and or vessel, becoming more and more susceptible to gravity or the gravitational pull. Once again, to worship is to become a warship. A warship is a battleship. And it has these missiles, it has these machine guns, it has these things off of its dock pointed in north, south, east, west directions, looking for someone who's out to get them, who wants to war with them, who wants to battle them. You become a battle mode. Body and battle is related, which is what I'm getting right now as well. I don't even have this written down. Body and battle is related. Battle and body, body and battle. This is a battle mode vehicle, but it doesn't mean that you are a battle mode vehicle. You are just a thing which is dual or duality. You're in dual mode, not battle mode. Duality is, like polarity is. Polarity and duality just is. You're not in battle with nobody because nothing exists outside of you. In fact, everything you think is outside of you actually exists within you. So who are you looking at? Who, it's like, oh, I know she's going to try to piss me off now. Watch her say some shit or do some shit to try to throw me off. She's going to make me mad. Same thing with him. I know he's going to do this now. I know how he is. I got to be prepared for this. I got to be ready for this. He's going to say this. He's going to do this. Oh, man, I'm going to get mad and angry. It's the same thing as worship and warship. Battleship. Body shape. Battleship. Worship. Warship. You thinking she's out to throw you off. You thinking he's out to fuck with your mind. People, everybody, things. You become this thing on self-defense. You pull up a shield. You surround yourself with armor. For what? Nothing else exists but you. Nothing exists outside of you. See? And there's nothing outside, and there really is nothing inside to that degree, but let's just say inside. Because inside and outside is also polarities, but it's not the out and the in, it's the word side, which repeats itself. Side is sigil. Sigil is symbol. You are a symbol. In and out is just polarity as well. As you are is the most cleanest, most purest understanding. As you are. Just as you are. Just as it is. Okay? This is why you become more sick and more psychological. Because sick is psych. You become more psyched. There's no such thing as sick. There is no such thing as sick. Sick is the word psych. You become psyched. You tricked yourself. She's gonna do this to me now. I know how to prepare for this shit. I walk into this house. But he's gonna do this, or he's gonna, he's gonna get me mad. He knows I hate when he does that. You're worshiping them. You're worshiping him when you're worshiping her. You don't even know that you're worshiping them. You don't even know that they're your God. You have no idea that they rule you and they're your ruler. You see, that realization, that reality, that truth doesn't come to you in that way that you understand. You think that they're just going to get you mad, but you don't even know that you're actually worshiping them and that they actually control you, and you gave them permission and access to control you internally, physiologically, physically, biologically, mentally, through chemical reactions, causing chemical reactions and poisons within your body to break you down mentally and physically. You gave them that permission and that access. Congratulations. Okay, the next line, the last line in our doorway is: to worship is to kneel or to bow or to be bowel or to be bellow, to be below. But below what? To be below that which you are looking up to. Okay, what is looking up to? So what's the problem looking up to something? Looking up to anything like a stage, platform, or plateau, or anything sitting or standing or sitting higher than you, including speakers and people on stages and platforms and plateau, or anybody sitting or standing higher than the elevation that you are at, looking up to it, is an unknown subconscious activation, of an unconscious worship or unconscious worshiping, unconscious to your own conscious awareness. I know there's a lot of damn consciousness and unconscious, but understand what I'm saying. To worship is to kneel. To worship is to bow. To worship is to be bowel. Bowel or feces, bowels. They let out feces, which is shit in the toilet. To worship is to kneel. To kneel is to bow. To bow is to be bowel. To bowel is to be bellow. Bellow is the stomach, the bellow, the bowel, which is to be below. To be below that which you are looking up to. So you're looking up to them. You're not only worshiping them, you're not only giving them, calling them God, you're not only making them your master, but in a way of looking at it, in a truth of looking at it, you're also looking up to them. Anything that you're looking up to, or you decide, choose to look up to, unbeknownst to you, willingly or unwillingly, voluntarily or involuntarily, is an unknown subconscious activation, or creates an unknown subconscious activation of an unconscious worship or unconscious worshiping, which is unconscious to your own conscious awareness. All this shit means is that you're doing something subconsciously that your conscious can't seem to pick up. It's going right through without even becoming filtered. So therefore, once again, you don't know whether you're worshiping somebody or whether you're just interacting in amongst someone. See, so this is why this whole topic came up. Why it came to me spiritually in the title that it did come, which is the title I'm sharing to you, which is, are you in this or that? Are you in a relationship or a worship? So, the question to ask yourself now is what I ask you, which is what you should ask yourself. Are you in a relationship or are you in a worship? Am I as I am, as you are, just as you are? See you guys next time. And until then, I'll keep you in vision. 1, 0.